This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes on Blog Talk Radio, where we discuss the topics that inspire entrepreneurs from thought to action. Folks, we welcome your questions, your comments. Our phone number here in the studio is 347-857-3958. And we also stream live video on Ustream.tv. Now, if you missed any of our shows this week, you'll be able to simply go to Blog Talk Radio. You can go to blogtalkradio.com/Cruz and Hughes and download all of our archive shows. And I promise you, you are absolutely going to learn something. Now, if you're watching us on Ustream.tv, you may notice that we have a guest host in the studio with us. And over here to my right is Miss Tony Harris, and I'm excited to have you here, Tony.
Thanks for having me. John said he had something important going on, and I said, let me just sit in your chair. So here I am.
And you get to sit in the chair of the king of Cruz and Hughes Radio.
I know. I feel so honored, so special. I hope I can just feel a toe of that shoe.
Well, I tell you what, I'm thrilled to have you here, Tony, and I, as a guest co-host on the show, I'm really excited to have you here. You know, you and I always have such a good time when we're on the air together.
Absolutely.
And also, congratulations on your show.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun on my show.
Tell us some stuff about your show.
Well, my show is Drastic Steps with Tony Harris. It airs every Friday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you can listen at DrasticStepsWithTonyHarris.com, or you can dial in 347-989-1363.
Wow, and you've learned the phone number already. That's
I know
cool.
My phone number. That's right.
Well, folks, you can join in the conversation today by calling in 347-857-3958, or you can join us in the chat room. We've got a fantastic producer with us who will help you get your questions through to us, Mr. Stephen K. And while you don't see him on camera, nonetheless, the reason you can see us is because he is here. And I want to just say thanks to John Cruz for trusting me with the store. I've got the keys to the store, and the boss is out of town.
Yay!
So we're going to do all kinds of things while John is out. And let me just tell you what, every time John is out, right, I get this opportunity to kind of take the show in, directions that perhaps John wouldn't take it. So I've got a great guest with us today, and I really want you guys to call in because we have experts in the house, and we always have experts in the house. We really want you to call in and get to pose some of your tough questions to the resident expert. And we have today Miss Sandy Lawrence, and she is with Perceptive Marketing. And in fact, if you want to connect with her, you can do so at 281-807-1300, or you can visit her website at perceptivemarketing.com. And I want to say welcome to the show, Sandy.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I've heard so much about the show.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. You know, we try to help small businesses grow on this show. You know, we don't talk about news, we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion, but we do talk about growth strategies, we talk about how to, we talk about why to, we talk about all of those kinds of things that can really affect a small business, and we try to touch on some of those subjects that will really provide assistance to a small business owner who's trying to get out here and hang out his shingle and, kind of make his business grow. But before we get going with Sandy,
Hold on.
Because guess what? This is Soapbox Friday.
Ooh.
That's right, Soapbox Friday. And yes, folks, I have a soapbox. Now, you remember last week we talked about my soapbox was credit reports. And I don't like credit reports because nobody asked my permission to publish information on how I pay people. I didn't get a permission slip. I don't remember ever signing an authorization for anyone to go collect my Social Security number and then sell my information to people. So that was last week's soapbox. This week's soapbox You know what it is?
Can't wait.
I'm telling you what, I don't know what's going on out here, but I've got to tell you, in the budget crunch, maybe some of these cities, maybe some of these counties, maybe some of them are having reductions in income due to taxation because people are losing their jobs and some people have lost their homes and now they can't tax people. The tax base is eroded. And so guess what? A lot of cities, folks, have a new way to make money, and it's called traffic tickets.
Oh, no.
My soapbox is traffic tickets. Now, let me tell you something, folks. If to me, that's not police work. When you got 8, 10, 12, 15 police officers standing behind a sign or hiding in a tree or standing in some blind spot over an overpass trying to write me a ticket, and you got 2 guys with a radar gun and 8 guys running out with a ticket pad, I got problems with that. Now, I'm going to just tell you, that's a soapbox of mine. I'm saying if you got 12 or 15 police officers, and I'm not against police officers, but I am against this business of not policing.
Mm-hmm.
All right? You out here writing tickets to people who are late for church early on Sunday morning. Really? Hardened criminals they are. Well, how about this? How about patrolling in these neighborhoods where somebody's hanging out of somebody else's bathroom window or somebody running the 50-yard dash with a TV under each arm?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's police work. But this idea of ganging up on citizens, we threw those kids. Some of you guys know we broadcast this show around the country. And here in Houston, Texas, you may have in your city something called traffic cameras. Red light cameras that automatically write tickets to you if the camera seems to think that you ran the red light. Well, let me tell you, we threw those out here in Houston, Texas. Why? Because in Texas, we're fiercely independent people, and we're especially suspicious of government. We just are.
Yeah.
All right? So, we threw those out in the 4th largest city in America. So I want to put out a call to those of you who got red light cameras in your city. Citizens, band together and throw those cameras out of your city. And don't bother calling me because I don't care. All right? And so now that's it for my soapbox. Oh, my goodness, I feel bad.
Do we get to comment on the
Yes, you get to
soapbox?
join in my soapbox.
Okay.
Join in.
So I agree that the police should be policing and really dealing with criminals.
Right.
By the same token, people who drive reckless
Yes.
need to pay for it.
Correct. I agree.
People who are speeding, you need to leave earlier.
Drunk people.
If you are late for church, you know what time church starts every week. So why are we late? So we need to leave a little early. So I don't feel sorry for those who are breaking the law.
Well, I get that, but I'm talking about this gang activity, and I'm going to call it gang activity. I don't know if you guys have seen these folks, but literally it'll be 8 or 10 police officers in one place, and they'll have 1 or 2 that are on each side of the street with a radar gun, and then you've got the other ones kind of standing at the ready with the traffic citation pad. And the truth is, I've seen them walk out in the middle of moving traffic and stop traffic.
Happened to me.
It happened to you.
Happened to me. How much power is that?
That is a soapbox, and I'm telling you right now, I got a problem with that. I'm going to rant about it, and I'm not going to shut up about it because I'm telling you what, folks, that is dangerous. We don't need to have, you're going to walk out in moving traffic and put your hand up and say, stop, really?
And guess what? We stop.
Well, of course we stop. Who wants to be the guy who ran over a police officer? Of course we stop. But this is insane.
It is. It's crazy.
This is insane.
It has gotten out of hand.
It is.
It's out of hand.
Absolutely.
I'm saying, hey, police officers, set up your radar. It's okay. Catch speeders.
Absolutely.
Catch drunk people. Catch reckless people. I saw somebody who was literally on the freeway. This is not made up because you can't make this up. Next to me, I'm driving miles an hour. And
I think we get the reason for the rant.
and I look over, and sure enough, a foot comes up on the dash, and she slips a sock or a stocking over her foot.
This is the driver's side?
This is the driver. Now, not only is this fantastic to me at what it takes to physically be able to do that. Stop. I hear you. But I got to tell you, I got over, Sandy, I moved over 2 lanes because I'm thinking, you know what, I don't know, maybe she had the cruise control on, I guess, because she took her foot off the thing
Cruise control doesn't manage the steering wheel.
There you go. And she had one hand here, but she took her hand and stretched over and slipped this over her foot.
Haven't you heard that women are multi-talented
Wow.
and we can do multiple things at the same time? Now come on.
She did not leave her lane. I left my lane. That's the point.
You wanted to get in a safe lane.
Let me tell you what, I wanted to get in a safe lane. And speaking of safe, folks, if you're not marketing your business, and I'm getting off my soapbox now because I need to get to the show because we have Sandy here, but
I'm enjoying it.
It's safe business building means that you got to get really adept at how you're marketing your business and thinking about what your marketing strategy is going to be and how are you going to position yourself. And we're going to talk about some of those things, Sandy, if it's okay with you.
That's fine.
And we're going to get into all of those kinds of things that we want small businesses to really take a look at. And again, folks, get your pens and pencils handy, ready to write down some things, and join in the conversation at 347-857-3958 because you're going to have a treat today because, we're going to have some fun because we just had Soapbox Friday, and in case you missed it, maybe it's a soapbox for you, so you can call and join in on the conversation about that. Right after this, we're going to come back, Sandy, and we're going to hit you with some questions and stuff, okay?
I'm ready.
All right, super. Well, folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, and to have your small business featured on Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, you can call our business office at 832-460-2020 or contact us through our website at smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. More in a moment with Miss Sandy Lawrence right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is?
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters. From Christopher Nolan. The storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, we have President and CEO of Perceptive Marketing, Miss Sandy Lawrence, with us. And if you want to connect with her, you can do so at 281-807-1300. Now, Sandy is a marketing expert. She is a public speaker and a trainer, which means that she will teach you the right way to do this stuff that you think you know how to do, but she'll make you better. Mm-hmm. All right. And so welcome to the show, Sandy. I'm just thrilled that you're here, and we're going to get into some stuff, and we're going to teach some people.
And I'm excited to be here.
That's
I love
great.
sharing. I have a love for marketing and a passion for it. I love sharing it.
Now, Sandy, I got to ask you, how did you become Sandy Lawrence? How did you wind up being the marketing expert?
Well, I'm old.
You're old.
I don't feel old. I don't act old, but I've had years of experience.
I got you.
Started out in sales.
Okay.
And from there, I went to something that wasn't quite as, money driven. And I thought marketing was a great place. And so my background is in technology. I did a lot of work with, the services marketing, warranty with Compaq and HP. So love marketing. So my years of experience and training through doing corporate kind of marketing has really enabled me to do a good job and to love. It just taught me that I have a real love for seeing results in marketing.
Now, let me ask you a question with regard to marketing, because I find that a lot of small businesses, Sandy, think that sales is marketing and marketing is sales, but they're not the same thing.
They're not the same, but I'm telling you, a lot of people, not just small businesses, a lot of people don't know how to differentiate between the two. And
so tell us, what are some of those differences? How can people tell? What are some simple rules that a small business might use to say, okay, over here is this is a marketing strategy, and over here is a sales strategy? What are some of the things that they can use to differentiate?
Well, marketing actually prepares the salesperson to do a good job.
Gotcha.
So I'm a salesperson for a company. I rely on the marketing people to give me everything I know to be able to position and to sell this product or service. I want to know the benefits. I want to know how to get to their pain, all of the things about sales. But the material I have, the information that's given to me, the campaigns, the offers, that all comes from marketing.
Okay, so really, are you able to do a really good job with somebody, maybe a prospective client, somebody wants to hire you, but they're not really sure about who their customer is or what their value proposition is? I mean, do you help them with that?
Absolutely, because the most important thing before you go do the sales is to know who you're selling to, what your message is, how to reach them, what vehicles to use to reach them. So if you're marketing to people that are between the ages of 25 and 40, 45, 50, if you're not doing something like online marketing, you're missing a huge chunk.
Sure. Tony, now you've got your own show and you're an entrepreneur. What are some of the things that you've run into that were kind of marketing in nature, but you've probably seen what I've seen, where you get people who are not real sure what they should be doing?
Right. And so, the first thing we discuss besides who is your target is what is your brand? Who are you and who are you trying to reach and why? And so when I coach businesses, I am all about are you following your brand? And, on that note, Sandy, I wanted to ask you, what type of customers are your best customers?
Me personally, perceptive marketing?
Sure.
Well, of course, I love authors and entrepreneurs, small businesses. But that's very broad. So to really identify a target market, which I always, in my training and my teaching, is tell people to think about the Target logo, or a logo that's got the big bullseye there. I want to shoot for the bullseye. So the people I love to work with are women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Women authors, women speakers. That's my target ideal.
Got you. That's the sweet spot right there. Okay, all right. Now how do you find, are you like that? Because, I got to tell you, when you're sitting here and you're Irv Hughes on the Cruz and Hughes show, and you're sitting sandwiched between two beautiful women, guys, let me just tell you, it's great for you. It really is.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
I know many of you are feeling sorry for me right now, but really I don't care. But seriously, what are some of the kinds of mistakes that you see small businesses making? Can you name a few of those?
Well, I call what most small businesses do the spray and pray method.
Spray and pray method.
So they just send out a press release or create a brochure or spray out a marketing message. And, the danger is it will sometimes hit. Sometimes you get a client. So they think it works.
Gotcha.
And it will work, but the most efficient way in marketing to get results head on again and again and again is to narrow that focus in, be in your lane, know your niche, know what you're good at, know who your target market is, know how to reach them, and again and again. Now, sometimes when you're shooting for your target market, you make, I take men clients too.
Oh, you do take men clients? I was going to drill down on that.
But my marketing is directed towards women entrepreneurs.
I understand.
Now, if I hit some of those ancillary circles in the whole target, right, I'm cool with that.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? See, and I've been fortunate because I have great relationships with women in business. I've been married a long time, so I'm easy. I'm not depraved or any of those things. So it's kind of cool because I've built great friendships with women in business, and quite frankly, I do believe. Now, I have to say this, and I know I'm going to alienate all my guy friends, but I do think women generally are better in business than men. I believe they're better because women are naturally nurturers. I believe women are very competitive, very, very competitive, and you guys can chime in on this right here, Tony.
No, I agree.
I've seen women, in social circles, and I've seen how incredibly competitive women can be.
Yeah, it is very true. But the other thing is women can multitask, like put their stockings on and drive at the same time. If that doesn't make a great business owner, I don't know.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary stuff right there.
But I do agree with you that women have a certain tenacity.
Yeah.
And it's something that, it's natural for us. And so I agree with you. There is a competitive spirit, and we have to watch that as women. So I'm going to say that we have to watch that cattiness that can come across in that circle that you're referring to. We don't have that in our circle. By the way, Sandy, I am Sandy's client.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
And so
very cool.
I am, and she has a certain culture that if you're her client, you become family. So that's very important to her.
I adopt my clients.
Yes, she does. She does. And so, that's the kind of relationship as women we generate in our circle because we're very nurturing. We take care of our clients, and we also share resources.
On the other hand, I do like working with men, and so I have a lot of men who are friends, and a lot of times I think because we women are competitive, and we're emotional, and we're like nurturing, and we want to help the world. So every now and then I really like bouncing ideas off of a guy, just like, does this kind of make sense, or is this, and I have some friends that I really rely on for that kind of feedback.
And I can see that, Sandy, because men typically are very methodical and very logical. I mean, they're very linear in how they think about things. And
I hear that word a lot from my husband.
Yeah, what?
I think linearly.
Yeah, that's right. That's well, that's part of our.
Sure, I know what that means.
I was going to say, could you tell me what that means?
Yeah. That's part of our wiring that makes us unable to multitask.
Okay.
Linear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's linear.
That's the word?
Yeah, it's
I heard a different word, but okay.
you were probably thinking narrow or something like that. Oh man, John, where are you when I need you? Right? Once again, you're out partying.
That's right.
And you left me
John
here.
who?
John.
Right?
John. Oh man,
I hope he's listening.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He'll probably wind up listening to the show sometime tonight, if nothing else. But that's okay. I don't really care. The show will be over and I'll be safe.
Right.
Right. Okay. So Sandy, are the principles of marketing different today than perhaps they were 10 years ago?
I think basically they're the same.
Okay.
Now, that said, there's different, like I said, different vehicles, different ways of getting the word out. So digital obviously has taken over our world.
No doubt.
And if you're not part of the whole digital marketing, you're missing out. Like I said, you're missing. However, if you're only doing digital marketing, only doing inbound marketing, and not doing any outbound, which is the press releases and all the things I talked about earlier, then you're still missing. So I think it's a balance.
Yeah.
I still call. I just
Sure.
pick up the phone and call the media and say, I've got a client. He's going to be in your area. I do have a client that's going to be in Dayton, Ohio next week, and I am calling the media there saying, you want to interview this guy. And it works.
Well, that's cool. Well, you know what? When we come back, I want to drill down on one of the things that you mentioned was about press releases. I've got some specific questions I want to ask you about that when we come back from break. Well, folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Mega Suits. Mega Suits offers an extensive collection of quality business clothing such as men's suits, dress shirts, shoes, and accessories. You can call Mega Suits today at 888-349-2910. We'll be back in just a moment. More with Sandy Lawrence right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com. Uni.com or give them a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. This storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, we're here with Sandy Lawrence. She is the president and CEO of Perceptive Marketing, and you can connect with Sandy by calling her at 281-807-1300 or visit her website at www.perceptivemarketing.com. Now, what you need to know is Sandy is a marketing expert. She is a public speaker and a trainer to teach you how to go about marketing your business. And we've been firing questions at Sandy, and she's been batting them back. And I'm lucky enough to have John Cruz out of the studio, so I could have the lovely and talented Miss Tony Harris as my guest co-host today. And we're just thrilled to have you, Tony.
I'm happy to be here. I'm having a blast.
And you know what? If you're just joining us, Tony, why don't you tell people about your show?
Okay. Well, I have my own blog talk radio show, which is drasticstepswithtonyharris.com. So you can find the show there. It airs every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And it is radio that transforms, educates, motivates, and inspires. And so I'm very excited about that. And I'm also a speaker and a life coach, business and life coach.
Well, you know, the problem with business is life can get in the way.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you got to be coached through the life part to get to the business part. And quite honestly, folks, and some of you may agree with me, that the business part is the easy part.
Truthfully, it is. And you know what? People would always tell me, because my tag is I help turn lives around 180 degrees, personally, professionally, and financially. And when I was talking to some branding people, they would say, pick one. Which one do you help people with?
Right.
Well, there is not one.
Right. That's
so
right.
if your personal is jacked up, professional is going to be messed up. So it's all one. And I let the client start where they need to start. And then we go from there.
Well, that's cool because you don't want to have a three-wheel car because that doesn't benefit anybody.
That's right.
Well, folks, if you're wanting to join in the conversation, you can certainly do so by giving us a call at 347-857-3958. You can join in our conversation. You can give us your comments. Whether you agree, disagree, we don't really mind. You can say whatever you want to say here on Cruz and Hughes. We talk about those things that will help you build your business. If you are stuck, if you are in a place where you don't want to be and you're not sure how you got there, and more importantly, how you're going to get out. Today we're talking about marketing, and we have in studio our marketing expert, Miss Sandy Lawrence. So now when we went to break, Sandy, we were talking about press releases. And, Tony, I was kind of hoping to get you to chime in on that because I know that you've done some marketing. You certainly coach people about this. And, I'm kind of hoping maybe you can fire this question across at Sandy and see if we can get some answers out to our listeners.
So Sandy works with small businesses, authors, speakers. And so the question is, do press releases work as a low-cost way to market themselves, and why not?
So press releases do several things. One, written correctly with the right terms, key terms. So it's very important that when you're writing a press release, it's not a sales piece. Okay. It's not intended to sell anything. It's news, press release, news release, media release. So The main thing is to stay completely away from the sales and to use the right words that would have someone looking for you find you by Google.
Sure.
So that's one purpose of the press release, and
Okay.
the more you get that out there, the more you have people finding you. So you're out on the search engines. The second thing is to actually get interviews, get stories, and so there's two. So you want to know your goal. If it's just to get information out there, then there's a lot of press release distribution services, and you can pay. You can have some free ones, anything up to paying $700 or $800 to have a company send out your press release, and they will send it to all the appropriate targeted markets that you identify for them. For my purposes, for my clients, one of the things I really seriously want more than to get the word out is I want them to get an interview. I want to see their name on the paper. I want to be in the magazines, and I want them to be on radio shows like yours.
Sure.
So I send the press release targeted to those particular media where my client would be a good fit. I learned long ago, don't waste your time, though.
Yeah.
Because if I send something to one of the television stations and it's not appropriate for that market, it kind of blackballs you a little bit. So you really have to do your research, send it to the right people, the right places, the right audience, and then follow up with phone. I mean, just the old-fashioned pick up the phone
and call somebody.
And did you get the press release I sent? And, isn't this a great fit? They're going to be in your area. And so press releases work for a lot of different reasons. Your job, my job, is to determine who the market is and where and how we're going to reach them.
So I have a story about this.
Go ahead.
So Sandy sent out a press release for me about 3 weeks ago re-announcing my radio show restarting. And so she did the blast to everyone. And I'm at the car wash like a week later, and I pick up the Houston Forward Times newspaper, which is the oldest African American newspaper in Houston. And I'm just at the rack at the car wash, and I turn the cover over, and I'm on it. My big head. I got a big head picture and Sandy's press release.
Wow.
On the cover of the Houston Forward Times. And
nothing feels as good as that. I mean,
that was like hearing your song on the radio.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. And
as a publicist,
I was going to say, what does that do for you?
Oh my gosh, it makes me want to send more press releases.
Right, because they do work.
They work. It works.
Okay, now I got the big question because a lot of our listening audience is going to want to ask this. And when you send out a press release and some media outlet picks it up, how much does that cost?
In my case, it didn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything, right, Sandy?
Because it's news.
It's news. Oh, it doesn't cost you. No. You never pay to have a press release in anything because you pay to get it out there.
Sure, and that's for distribution.
That's somebody to do that for you, the work. But they don't charge for that.
Yeah, so for the writing and the distribution, you pay for those things. But actually getting it published or picked up by a media outlet.
Right, it's news.
It's news.
It's news.
And I guess that's really the game of it, if you will. And maybe I'm sorry if I use the word.
I love the word game.
Yeah,
so game.
That's the game of it. Is that it needs to be newsworthy.
It has to be newsworthy. It has to have a great headline. It's got to have a hook.
Okay.
So what we had for Tony was she's, when we had her picture and all that, so she's, drastic steps.
Sure.
This is a great, and she does take drastic steps. So we emphasize some of that in the press release. She has a great story to tell.
Sure.
So, marketing her is easy, of course, because she's so easy to tell people because she does so many wonderful things. I could write a press release every week about Tony.
Gotcha.
She's that busy, too.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Now, should people, because I've heard this, and Sandy, Tony, both of you guys can chime in on this. I've heard people say that they're nervous or concerned about self-promotion, self-marketing. Is that real? Is that a healthy attitude to have if you're in business, or is that maybe
it does give validation for me to send the press release and not Tony.
Sure.
Okay, that does give validation.
Okay.
For a book, I've been to a lot of conferences on marketing and publishing books, and I've heard a lot of media say, if you're the author, don't send it to me. I want to hear from the publishing company, the marketing person. So, however, now that we have Facebook and all Twitter and all of those, you do get a lot of people promoting themselves. I think it's a healthy question to ask. Who would they rather receive this from?
Sure.
From a marketing person. And then, hey, send it from your, we know a lot of people that are self-published or independently published. So send it from the publishing company or send it from the marketing company.
Sure. Very good. So Sandy, who is your best customer? I know we kind of talked about that before, where we talked about, hey, you like to target women, and I get that, and you have some men clients, but I'm talking about in terms of development. If a company is a startup, for example, is that a good customer for you, or is it a customer that's been in business 10 years, a better customer, or 5 years, or where in their development is a good place for somebody like you to come in and really help them get to the next level?
Well, for me first of all, they have to have a budget for marketing.
Well, sure.
So, sometimes a startup does not plan for that.
Gotcha.
And that's unfortunate, because that's the time when marketing is key and could be the most important thing you do.
No doubt.
So that's where my training comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I do marketing boot camps where I actually train entrepreneurs, startups. Here's how you know who your target market is, and here's what you do to market yourself. And also, marketing is not necessarily an overnight thing. You don't become I've heard people say I became an overnight success after 10 years.
Yeah,
that kind
an overnight success.
So marketing is, sometimes you have to have marketing stamina.
Gotcha.
And you stay with it. When people ask me what is the key, I say perseverance.
So you really got to stay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, do a lot of small businesses have marketing plans or strategies already written out, or they're formal plans, or is that something that you do?
I do that, and most of them don't do that. So a lot of people don't think about the marketing. They think about sales. We talked about that earlier.
Sure.
Let's go get clients. Let's go get customers. Lead generation, all of that. So having a marketing plan, though, is very, very important. And knowing who that market is and the message that you're going to give to them with benefits. Why would anybody want to do business with me? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and understanding what some of those differentiators might be.
Yeah, and I know we're getting ready to take a break. And so when we come back from break, I want to ask you, how does social media fit into marketing today?
Ooh, very good. Social media. What are those new tools?
Mm-hmm. And how should you use them efficiently?
All right, that's good stuff. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, and it's brought to you by Ring Central. To get Ring Central's virtual PBX for your business, you can call 888-716-5022. More in a moment. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. The storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're listening to the show, you know that we've been talking to Miss Sandy Lawrence. She's with Perceptive Marketing. You can reach out to her by calling 281-807-1300. She is a marketing expert, public speaker, and trainer. And I like the part about trainer, because she can teach you how to do it. Now, Tony, when we went to break, you had teed up a really nice thing for us to get into in this particular segment. So why don't you fire away?
All right. So my question to you was, how does social media fit into the marketing strategy? And, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So talk to us about that.
I don't know that there's a wrong way necessarily, but there's just more effective ways, I guess I would say. The one thing is the branding. You mentioned branding earlier. So whatever your brand is in your website and in your press releases and all of your other marketing, you want that to be your brand on social media as well. So you want to keep a professional, look and all of that. Using social media to get the word out is one way I use press releases. So we talked about that last segment. So anytime we do a press release, when I do a press release for Tony, not only do I send it to all the appropriate publications, either broadcast media or print, but I also post it on all the Facebook places. And I take little tiny pieces of it and send it through Twitter.
Oh.
So I'm a firm believer in social media. I think it needs to be brought in to be part of the overall marketing plan. So if your only marketing is social media, then you want to look at what results. You always with marketing look at where you're getting results, and where the results are coming, you want to focus more in that area while at the same time branching out to newer areas as tests. Always test everything before you spend a lot of money on any one campaign.
Well, that's good advice.
Have you seen any businesses literally kill their brand by doing bad marketing?
I've heard this happened several years ago when Coca-Cola came out with the new Coca-Cola. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
So I happened to be at a breakfast downtown at the for the mayor's prayer breakfast when they brought in this guy who was marketing for Coca-Cola from Atlanta, and he talked about that. Now they were accused of that being a big marketing ploy.
Well, yeah, I was one of those that accused them.
But he said that was literally a mistake. But to me, that was a great recovery, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, you put out something that probably spent millions of dollars.
Right.
To something that nobody liked. They wanted the real thing.
That's right.
So they went back, and now they have a whole new campaign, and we brought back the real thing. And so that was something that could have been a marketing fiasco, but it was turned around to be something. I don't know whether overall they lost money with it or not, but I've seen small businesses, make mistakes. Most of the time they're recoverable, but it can hurt you.
Right.
So now, if a small business makes an error, and heaven forbid they make an error, and really, as Tony said, really hurt themselves, destroy their brand, come out with a black eye, right? What do you do? How do you fix that? I mean, are there steps that you're supposed to go through that you come out and say, "Oh, I'm sorry"?
You know, there are people that make millions of dollars for crisis communication kind of stuff. So
Wait. Let me make sure I got this right. Did you say crisis communication?
Well, that's, remember some of the fiascos that we've seen.
Wow.
I remember when I was working with corporate. Sometimes they would call me and say, somebody just said that we didn't do this like we said we would, and we've got to have an answer.
Right.
So I would go to my boss and say, okay, here's what my suggestion is that we answer it. And so there's always that kind of marketing, which is like, taking care of the mistakes. A small business where you're the chief bottle washer and marketing person,
right.
Then you have to look at, first of all, be careful. That would be my caution would be just to be careful. But we always talk about something and then, gets taken the wrong way or something. So the big thing is, be honest, open, straightforward. If you make a mistake, say it.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge that and move on.
Okay.
So Sandy conducts a marketing boot camp, and it is fabulous. And I know she's coming out with one coming up soon. But one of the things she taught me was the difference between features and benefits, which is still something I struggle with sometimes because they look,
the world.
they look so close together, like the same thing. So let's talk about how a person distinguishes a feature from a benefit.
Well, a feature is a description. That's your product, your service. What you describe it. But why does that matter to me is what you want to get to, and companies struggle with that. You want to ask somebody why they do business with you, and let that be the guide of how you get other people from that same type of marketing. So I think one of the examples we used in the boot camp was, a heater can have a thermostat on it.
Sure.
That's a feature.
Sure.
This one is automatically programmed. That's okay. Now, if I'm getting ready to buy a heater and it's coming into winter, if the sales rep says to me, with this programmable thermostat, your house is warm when you come home from work. You've been driving outside, it's cold, it's rainy, you got a nice warm house waiting for you. Well, that's a benefit to me.
Gotcha.
Programmable, I don't care.
That's a feature, though.
Warm house, programmable is feature. Warm house when I come home, that's benefit.
That's the benefit of the feature.
Well, the benefit will always be a benefit of that feature, yes.
Gotcha. So now, do you run into instances where people put in benefits that aren't tied to any features, where there's a mismatch? Does that happen?
There's always mismatches.
You know what I mean? I mean, here's a feature of the particular product or service, and then here's a series of benefits, but they didn't have anything to do with this particular feature. And so you look out for that.
Well, I'm sure you have to be careful with that, yes. I mean, I would just say always know what first identify your features. I mean, that's step one. What do you do? And then why? Why do you do it, and why do I care? And very careful to stay away from industry terms.
Oh,
and because I come from a technology background.
Wow, that's tough.
You want to do that.
Well, someone once told me you sell the destination, not the plane.
Right.
Who cares how you're going to get there? The destination is the white sandy beaches. And
absolutely.
Irv in a Speedo.
Irv in a Speedo. Call the
Which
cops.
plane is that?
Don't get the air marshals would just take me off the plane if they knew that's where I was headed to any.
At the beach.
If I was headed to any destination and they found a Speedo in my luggage, trust me, it would be air marshal material. I'm telling you right now.
That's a good way to go to break.
Air Marshal Irv in a Speedo. Oh my God!
Wow.
I'm gonna get completely banned from this show because of you, Tony.
John's never gonna leave you alone again.
John's never gonna leave again. That's what's gonna happen. That's for sure. Folks, we're here talking with Miss Sandy Lawrence, and she is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Perceptive Marketing, and you can visit her website at perceptivemarketing.com. Now, when we come back, I want you to talk more about your boot camp.
Okay.
Okay, because I want to know what happens in there and some of those kinds of things. Don't give away the store, but we do want to
I know.
talk about what you want to do in there. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. When you need credit help, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. We'll be back in a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. This storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, wow, you missed a hot one. We've been talking to Miss Sandy Lawrence here with Perceptive Marketing, and I have my co-host, my guest co-host today is Miss Tony Harris, and so she's been on camera. If you've been on the Ustream.tv to see us live here from the broadcast offices here at Cruz and Hughes Radio, you've had a chance to see Tony Harris and Miss Sandy Lawrence sitting here to my left, and we've really had a really great time. But Sandy, before we go, I want you to talk about your events, your boot camps, your trainings. Where are you having them? What do you do there? Really quickly, this is kind of our short segment, so hit them hard, hit them fast.
Well, we're getting ready to take them online. So
all right.
Online boot camp will be announced. So if anyone's interested at all in participating in that, they can contact me through the number that you gave, through my website, Perceptive Marketing, my email, Sandy Lawrence at Perceptive Marketing. So I'm easy to find.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook. I'm easy to find.
So somebody can Google you?
They can Google me. They'll find me.
Okay, and Lawrence is Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, and I think that's important because Lawrence is like a big name out there.
And I'm not the singer. There is a Sandy Lawrence that comes up around the same level as I do on Google, who's a singer.
And you don't sing?
That's not me.
That's not you.
No,
and you don't sing.
No, I don't sing.
You do sing.
I sing.
You sing
in the shower.
In the shower. Well, you heard it here, folks. Sandy Lawrence sings in the shower, and Irv is headed somewhere to wear a Speedo.
What a fun day.
Oh, my stars.
And leave early to go to church. So you don't get a ticket.
Don't get a ticket on the way to church. Well, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I've got to have you back on the show.
Anytime.
All right, next time we'll have both of you back. Maybe we can get John to agree to do that.
And John will be here.
John will be here. Right. So I tell you what, I'm just really thrilled that you've had this opportunity to be here and talk about, who you are and what you do. So, folks, until next week, this is Soapbox Friday. Until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else, folks, be in action. And we'll see you next week. Take care.